Taehyung sprints down the main hotel lobby. He can barely see Jungkook head in the revolving doors and excuses himself as he moves people out of his way, trying to reach him. He's lost him for a second, but once Taehyung is outside, he sees Jungkook with his hand in his pocket, a cigarette in his mouth, and his phone in his ear. He looks upset and jittery, and Taehyung's heart is racing when he finally reaches him. "Jungkook," Taehyung says. He touches his shoulder softly, but it makes Jungkook pull away, and Taehyung moves his hand away. "Sorry, what do you want?" He sounds annoyed, and it makes Taehyung shiver. "What happened? Are you kidding me?" "Are you kidding me?" Jungkook puts his phone in his pocket, throws his cigarette on the ground, and both his arms are in the air from pure exasperation. What? Taehyung has no clue what's happening. They were just having a conversation with Racho. "Is this about Ash?" he asks curiously. "You're so stupid sometimes, honestly." Jungkook shakes his head with an incredulous look. "Jungkook, come on, she was just joking." Taehyung tries to sound calm. "She wasn't," Jungkook says as he shakes his head again, lighting up another cigarette. "Babe, work wife?" Really? Jungkook is angry, and Taehyung thinks he's never seen him this upset. "Jungkook, you're so blind." Jungkook grabs his phone from his pocket and seems to be looking for something. "You know how she is." Taehyung stands right in front of Jungkook now. "Exactly. If you know how she is, why didn't you say something? She wants you so bad." "She didn't give a shit. I was right there, Taehyung, right there next to you." Jungkook shouts and points at the ground next to Taehyung to emphasize. "I didn't think." "That worries me." To be fair, Jungkook takes a deep breath. "That you didn't give it much thought. You didn't even think it could upset me." After everything, Jungkook now sounds defeated. He puts his phone back in his ear and calls a taxi. "I'm going home now, but I can't promise I'll be there when you come back, babe," Taehyung says softly. "Don't," Jungkook pleads, and Taehyung can see tears in his eyes that roll down Jungkook's cheek when he blinks. "Just don't." Taehyung doesn't follow him when Jungkook walks away, giving up on waiting for his taxi. Taehyung doesn't move from the spot he's standing on for 20 minutes. He's suddenly cold, only realizing he's just wearing his button-up because he feels something wet on his chest. He's crying, and he's got 3 buttons undone. He feels like an underdressed idiot. When Taehyung gets home, Jungkook is pacing the living room and only stops when Taehyung speaks. "Where's my mom?" Taehyung asks, looking around. "I sent her home. I couldn't justify leaving again, could I?" Jungkook says, annoyed. Taehyung hardly reacts to the tone. "But now that you're back, I think I'm gonna go." "Jungkook, please. Can we talk?" Taehyung is approaching him cautiously, but he doesn't get too close. "Did you tell fuck off?" Jungkook raises his eyebrows. "I didn't go back in," Taehyung whispers, looking at the floor. "Well then, there's nothing else to talk about, Taehyung," Jungkook replies. "What do you want me to do?" "I work with her, and what?" "I don't fear that you work with her. She's after you. How can you not see it? She's constantly touching you, getting close to you, and finishing your sentences. She wants everyone to think you guys have something." "I felt like shit. I felt left out and ignored." Jungkook's voice is getting louder. "I was right next to you, though. I was trying to get you to engage, but," Taehyung says in a desperate attempt to calm him. "You were talking about work, Taehyung. How can I engage when I don't understand what you're talking about?" Jungkook's frustration is showing, and Taehyung feels guilty. "I'm sorry," Taehyung mumbles. "I'm going to need more than that," Jungkook quietly says. "What do you need?" he asks, desperate. "I need you to tell her to back off. I need you to tell her to leave you alone. I need you to put me first, Taekook. I'm your partner, she's only your co-worker. And I need you to open your eyes and realize she wants you. She wants you. Junuk sounds disappointed. Do you want her? No, Taekook exclaims. But Junuk, Taekook protests. But what? Cough, Taekook. Honestly, Junuk shouts, throwing a pillow with so much strength that it crashes on the wall behind Taekook. Was that supposed to hit me? Taekook asks, incredulous, turning his body to look at the pillow on the floor. Babe, no, you don't get to babe me, Junuk says with a nervous chuckle. He's pacing again, he's looking at the ceiling with his hands on his face as he groans. His groan is long, and it gets so loud that he's screaming. Taekook walks towards the other end of the sofa and sits on it slowly, his hands covering his eyes as if that would stop him from hearing Junuk, and his elbows resting on his thighs. I need to go, Junuk finally says after a few minutes of silence. I need to go. Taekook looks up, moving his hands away from his eyes but keeping them on his cheeks for reassurance. Junuk, please, Taekook pleads. I need to go. Junuk disappears, and when Taekook hears the door of their bedroom slam shut, he can't hold back the tears anymore and starts sobbing. Papa Taekook's head shoots up, and he's met with a sleepy Vager standing by the living room door. She's rubbing her eyes and yawning while walking towards him, still on the sofa. Baby, what are you doing awake? He asks, wiping his tears. He extends his arms, welcoming his 5-year-old and sitting her on his lap. There was a noise, she says, snuggling on her dad's chest. Oh, I'm sorry, darling. He hugs her tight, fighting his tears. I'm so sorry. They stayed like that for a few minutes, with Taekook silently crying, nuzzling his daughter's hair, and a tired Vager sleeping on him. He sits back on the sofa and rests his head on the back pillows. He closes his eyes and lets the tears run down his cheeks while he strokes his girl's curly hair. After a while, he takes Vager to her room, paying no attention to the master bedroom's closed door. He leaves her in bed, pulling the purple covers all the way to her neck, just as she likes it. Taekook stays there, watching her sleep for a while, trying to gather strength to get up and talk to Junuk. He finds himself standing in front of that bedroom door. The light is on. Taekook takes a deep breath and knocks, just to be polite, because he opens the door right away. The first thing he sees are the wardrobe doors open and half empty, the drawers messy, and an open gym bag on top of the bed with clothes spilling out of it. When the door of their ensuite bathroom opens, Junuk comes out with a wash bag under his arm. No, Taekook, he says as Taekook is about to open his mouth to speak. Are you seriously leaving? He finally asks, but Junuk doesn't reply, he just zips the bag up. What about Vager? I'll come get her Monday morning to take her to school. I'll be here before she wakes up. Junuk throws the bag over his shoulder and walks past Taekook, nearly bumping arms, and leaves. Not too long after Junuk walked out, Vager comes through the bedroom door, finding Taekook still standing at the end of the bed. Papa, is it time to get up?